सो जैसे इंजीनियरिंग में एंटर करने के लिए वी हैव दिस एग्जाम विच इज़ एन ऑल इंडिया एग्जाम दैट इज जेई.
Colleges, some colleges give you BDes, some give you BCA, some give you
Skill set that someone has to develop to come into this field.
find a team and just start working with them. You would learn a lot. You have in-city communities here. You have so much more. There are Discord communities that you can be a part of. You can learn from people.
Tell us about the job market, like how is the job market for game engineers, especially in India? Yeah. So like if someone has to start learning from scratch, then how can they learn?
Team-wide Scrum, which is all the, like I told about, developers, producers, so all of these people come together and discuss about what are the line items for everyone.
Specific to game development or game designing, and jobs as well as freelancing work for this role.
Market, it's a little tricky to do that because they don't really keep it very India specific. It's very global and open to criticism because
Hi everyone, my name is Shivangi Tiwari and welcome back to my channel. आज की पॉडकास्ट में हमारे साथ दीपांजलि हैं. इन्होंने BCA किया है इनटू गेम एंड मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट एंड इनको एक्सपर्टीज़ है इनटू गेमिंग स्किल्स एंड प्रोग्रामिंग स्किल्स. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, शी हैज़ 5 years, approx 5 years of experience into game development. So if you are someone जिसको game development में interest है and you're not finding out the way to start and know that how exactly you can come into the field, what skills you have to learn, then this podcast is going to be really helpful for you. So let me invite Deepanjali on my channel without any further ado. So hi Deepanjali, how are you doing?
Hi Shivangi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. And I would request you to briefly introduce you to my audience.
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Deepanjali. I'm a game designer at Zynga. I have been in the industry for close to 5 years now. I am here because I really love video games. Like, I grew up playing video games, and that's what got me into the whole world of gaming. And yeah, I've done a lot of things over the time, and I'm really excited to share my story, tell you guys about me.
Awesome. सो दीपांजलि, मैंने नॉर्मल BCA के बारे में तो सुना है. नॉर्मल BCA मतलब क्या? एक ही BCA के बारे में सुना है. BCA इनटू गेम डेवलपमेंट इज समथिंग न्यू फॉर मी ऑल्सो. सो कैन यू टेल मी कि क्या पढ़ाया जाता है इसमें? क्या गेमिंग कराते हैं या एग्जैक्टली क्या सिखाते हैं?
So BCA in game development has a mix of what you learn in general BCA as well as a little bit of a specialization. The degree that you get is bachelor's in computer applications with a specialization in game development. Here you learn the tools जो चाहिए होता है to like make games. For example, Unity, Unreal, these engines. You learn a little bit of Photoshop. You learn a little bit of how to work with game audio, how to edit videos, and how it basically is a platform for you to learn how to make a game end to end, like the whole end to end process of this product, and at the same time build your portfolio. It gives you a platform to build a portfolio and find jobs in the industry. Yeah, that's about it. Apart from that, you also learn a little bit of Android app development and a little bit of iOS app development. That's electives, so that's a choice.
Got it, got it. So, Deepanjali, as much as I know, every college or every university offers this BCA course. Lekin BCA with specialization in game designing, I've not heard much. So, are there any specific colleges that offer these specializations?
Yes, so there are a lot of colleges. Some colleges give you BDes, some give you BCA, some give you a BA, a BFA. So there are many options there. Now, colleges that you can look for. So I am from Bangalore and I studied in CMR University. That is one university. There are a lot of universities in Bangalore: Presidency, Srishti, NID, and Jain University. So this is just in Bangalore. If you try to go a little out of Bangalore, there's Backstage Pass in Hyderabad. Then there's CMEDU in Pune. There's I think there's a course in Chandigarh University too. So you need to do your own research in which city you are or which city you prefer to be in, and find a course that would fit for you. Yeah, that's about it. In this also, you have, if you're someone who wants to get into more of a programming kind of space, so you would have to do game development. But if you're someone who wants to tap into design and the creative aspect of things, so then you would go for a BDes or a BA or a BFA, so things like that.
ओके, सो जैसे इंजीनियरिंग में एंटर करने के लिए वी हैव दिस एग्जाम विच इज़ एन ऑल इंडिया एग्जाम, दैट इज जेई. सो इज देयर एनी स्पेसिफिक एग्जाम फॉर बीसीए और टू गेट अ स्पेशलाइजेशन फॉर दिस कोर्स?
Not necessarily. I have not really seen any exam as such. If you're trying to get into a college like NID, which is National Institute of Design, then yeah, you will have an entrance exam for that. But if you're trying to get into something like Backstage Pass or CMEDU, you might have an interview initially, and that's more than enough.
Got it, got it. So since I am from a software engineering field, and अगर मैं software engineering की बात करूँ तो we have back end, front end, then there is development, there is testing. So I want to know more about the domains and subdomains that exist in game engineering. So can you tell me that?
Okay, so let's just break it down. Like, think about a game and break it down on whatever you see over there. That's the best way to do this. So there's a player that's walking. Why is it walking? Kisi ne code likha, so that's why it's walking. So that's where the programming bit of things come. So there's a game developer, someone who writes code. Then there's a game designer. That is what I do. We basically come up with this whole creative aspect. We document things, in short. We plan things, that this is how I want. Basically, the idea person is the game designer. And then we have game artists, the people who do the art, the visuals and all, everything that you see, the art and animation. So this is art and animation together. And फिर होता है your testing, because now that you made it, किसी को test तो करना पड़ेगा before putting it out there. So there's game testing. There are product managers. Product managers basically look at the business aspect of things. So designer ने idea दे दिया, but product team will think कि अच्छा ठीक है, is it a viable idea? Would this make money? So that is where product managers come into picture. Then you have someone called as producers. Producers are like the people who manage the whole team, who keep the whole team together, who plan कि ये resource कितना काम करेगा, कब तक करेगा. So that is production for you. And yeah, that's about. Then you have data analysts, again someone who works with the PMs to, like, product managers, to come up with data, like give you the data that you want to make a design. So those are the domains that you have in gaming. Apart from that, there's marketing, PR and those things too, because game bana diya, market to karna hai. So yeah, that's there.
Right. Quite a vast field, but complete in itself.
Yes.
So quite interesting. Yeah. So like you chose the route of BCA, but there must be other routes to tap into this field. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I personally know a lot of people who are not someone who studied gaming. Like, they didn't really do a BCA in game development. They just did a general BCA or did BTech or did BA in journalism. So these people, they just they were very interested and they really wanted to be a part of this industry. So what they did was they started to build their own portfolio, started to figure out, like, find a way to get into this industry. So that is a route. I've seen a lot of engineers these days moving into this space, especially software engineers or engineers who want to tap into production or product management or design or even development. Development is something that would be a lot more easier for a engineering student to get into. But they're even trying to get
Right.
into the creative spaces of things. So yeah.
Got it, got it. So now tell us about the skill set that someone has to develop to come into this field.
Skill set, well, first thing is you need to be very, very communicative and open to criticism, because obviously when you're trying to build something from scratch, people would question your capabilities, people would ask you things. And if you're not someone who can communicate, especially as a designer, because you're talking to the entire team, you need to be able to, like, put your ideas through perfectly. So communication is very important, collaboration is very important. This is more of from a soft skill point of view. Like, you need to be open to criticism, you need to be creative. So this is all the soft skill bit. When it comes to a little bit of, like, technical skills, you need to know a game engine, at least one game engine. So it could be either Unity or Unreal. You just learn this game engine. And the best way to do that is you'll find a lot of tutorials online. You just pick one, start making a game, start learning. When you make a game, what happens is you're building a portfolio at the same time. And this industry doesn't really look at your degree or your education. It looks at what can you do, what your skills are. So focus on building those skills, and that's the best way to do it, is to dabble into these engines. So understand these engines, play a lot of games. When you're trying to get into this industry, it's the same way for filmmakers, right? They want to get into filmmaking, they watch a huge amount of movies. They have this set of amazing directors in their mind all the time. They try to take their vision and build something. It's the same with games. You need to play a lot of games to be able to make games, because you would understand a lot. And one thing that I do a lot is I read a lot of books, because you see a lot of games out there are inspired by books. So we need to like think about it in such a way that, okay, if I read a lot of books, I'm just stimulating my brain to come up with something creative. So that is your whole skill set. And not hesitating to ask questions is another important skill, I would say, because I know people are very hesitant to ask, and they would feel that they are a little dumb because they're asking a question that everyone else knows, but they don't. Gaming is an industry which is evolving very fast. 10 years ago, where India was, via this whole industry, like when we think about this industry, 10 years ago, we were a small baby. And now we have so many indie studios, so many people who are just making things. There are people in colleges trying to build their own studios. There's so much happening at once. And everyone's getting funded. There's a lot of money flowing into the industry. So there's big things that are happening. And at the same time, with this whole evolution, new terms come into picture, new concepts altogether come into picture, which honestly maybe even I don't know right now. So there's always a bit of that industry that I don't know, even though I've been here for 5 years. So you should not really hesitate to ask questions. That is something I have learned in the last 5 years, that if I'm not understanding something, it's better to ask questions than just nod my head.
Definitely, and clarify, and then move ahead and learn something new again.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like if someone has to start learning from scratch, then how can they learn the skills first of all, and then how to practice and where to practice these skills?
Okay. So when you talk about how to start, like where to start, the best place to start is pick an engine up first thing. If you're someone who's into development, the curve is a little steep. Honestly, all throughout the industry, the curve's a little steep. When you're starting off, you would feel, oh, this is too overwhelming, I don't want to do this anymore, and you might feel like stopping. But trust me, once you have an idea about things, right, it gets easier. So all you have to do is go on YouTube. You have a lot of channels out there. So there's this channel called as Brackies, and then there's this channel called as Code Monkey. These are channels from the time I was in college, so I'm not really sure if they are making new content now with the updates in the engines. But if you want to follow along with the updates of the engine and what's new, then if you're trying to learn Unity, there's this website by Unity. It's called Unity Learn, where people from Unity teach you what to do, like what's happening, how to like build a pipeline. People from Unity teach you how to build a game from scratch, and they have different tutorials for each of them, like a set of tutorials for a rollerball game or for a multiplayer game. So they have it all on their website, and you can just start learning from there. You can even set up your difficulty that I'm a beginner, or I'm someone who knows this, I want to learn more about maybe rendering and not development. So you can set that whole flow up for yourself. That's very clear on Unity. Same thing with Unreal. Unreal also has this on their website where you can learn all of this. So, and these are certified instructors who would be teaching you for free. And that is one way. Other way is using Udemy and Coursera. These have really good courses. Coursera has this course from CalArts, which is a game design masterclass. So that is a great course. Udemy also has a bunch of game design courses. So if you're someone who wants to get into game design or game art, you can find it all on Udemy and Coursera. In fact, Udemy has like multiple different courses. One which teaches you about history of game development and game design, and through the years how people have been changing things, how this industry is evolving, and where are we right now, what are the things that we need to do right now, breaking down some of our current popular games. So that is something that's been happening on these websites. Apart from that, there are a lot of books which you can find. So my personal favorite is this book called Level Up by Scott Rogers, and yeah, that's like my personal favorite books for game designers. I could like share a long list of books that are amazing for game designers. So yeah, dabble around these books, dabble around these courses, and you would learn yourself. And when it comes to practicing your skills, so the best way to do, initially the best way to do is follow along the tutorials and make the exact same thing. Then try to change the art, the color, like experiment a little with what you have already made. That is the best way to start. The next thing you can do is there is this website called itch.io. So you go to itch.io and there you have game jams. Every week you have like weekly jams running, you have monthly jams running, you have 48-hour jams running. So get into those jams, just take part and start making a game based on the theme they give you. So now in a way you're building your portfolio and you're also like coming up with ideas. So game jams is a great place, and these game jams are usually like community jams. So what you can do is join these Discord communities, meet new people, talk to them, team up with them. So you might meet people who have been in the industry for 15 years and you're someone who just started 5 months ago. So the collaboration would be great. You would learn so much from this person. And if you're someone from the major cities in India, January is the time when we have an annual on-site jam called the Global Game Jam. Just go there and find a team and just start working with them. You would learn a lot. You have in-city communities here. You have so much more. There are Discord communities that you can be a part of. You can learn from people. You can find mentors there. So practicing your skills, practice on game jams. That's the best way to do it. And find people, like-minded people, and team up with them. So this would help you get better at the whole thing, and plus build a portfolio of your own.
Wow, very, very well explained. So on the portfolio thing, I want to know that how does a good portfolio for game engineer looks like and how to make one?
Okay, so a good portfolio would have, let's just say you need to have a minimum of 4 to 5 games at least. And how you would divide these 4 to 5 games would be, one of them has to be a star project, which is perfectly polished. It has everything you envisioned. It is like your perfect baby that you have created. So now you need to have that one star project which would just like blow people's mind off. So once you have that, you keep it as the highlight of your project, your portfolio. Now, when the other 4 games, like other 3 to 4 games, would be a little bit on which direction do you want to sway. For example, if you're someone who's a game developer, so your project should be a little mechanically heavy. So you try to make small slices or small games of different mechanics, like showcasing. So one is a fight, like one is a proper sword battle kind of game where there's like a battle system to it, where 2 characters are fighting with each other. One could be a multiplayer if you really want to get into multiplayer programming. Then one could be a simple hyper casual game where just the characters jumping off ledges. So that could be one. So something that shows your skill perfectly, that you can code anything. So when you're a developer, you need to have a portfolio that says, I can code anything. You just give me something and I'll code it for you. So that's how your portfolio should look. As a designer, if you're someone who likes narrative design, then your star project has to be a narrative heavy game, like something that tells a story perfectly. So that would be a star project. Other projects could be something that is a hyper casual game, or something that is a simple mid-core game, or a simple casual farm simulator. So that's how you divide your thing. You have one star project, and the rest of them could be like work in progress or game jam projects. Game jam projects are usually a little bit work in progress, because you have limited amount of time to make it. So my portfolio has a lot of game jam projects there, and some of them are still incomplete, broken, but there's something. So that's what matters, just having something out there, something that puts out the idea. And when you build a portfolio, break down the process of how you make this game. So how did you come up with the idea? Why did you think of this? What were the problems that you faced? So break it all down like in a document format. And so say project A, and then you make another page for it with all the details of how this whole project saw the daylight. So that is a good way of making a portfolio. That's about it.
Great. So now tell us about the job market. Like, how is the job market for game engineers, especially in India?
In India right now, we are actually seeing a huge boom. I mean, recently I'd been to this conference called IGDC, which is Indian Game Developer Conference, which happens once a year in November. And I saw so many people out there, so many. Like, somebody is hiring, somebody is building something of their own, somebody is getting funded. So there's so much that is happening right now. So yeah, it's very evident that there are jobs out there, and it's just a crazy boom. That's a good thing.
And it's an amazing field. Like, you develop the passion by playing games, and then you come to know the back end part of it, like how you actually develop it, and after developing, how does it look like? So that's really amazing. Now, what sort of salaries we can expect in this field?
So it's very varied, I would say. If you can check out Glassdoor, Quora, these places would give you like the perfect numbers of different studios. But you can expect anywhere from 5, as a fresher, you can expect anywhere from 5 LPA to like 10, 11 LPA in the beginning. As a developer, designer, so all of these spaces you can expect so much.
Okay, but where do we exactly find the jobs specific to game development or game designing, and jobs as well as freelancing work for this role?
So for jobs, you can, LinkedIn is your go-to place. If you know companies, their career pages, in fact, more than LinkedIn, you'll find it on their career pages. And Hitmarker is a website where you can find it. Work with indies. So when you talk about freelancing, work with indies and remote jobs are two places where you can find freelancing opportunities, but it's not technically Indian studios. So you'll be working with people outside, but like remote jobs. And working with indies basically means working with small scale studios on their projects. So they would not really they would really prefer people who are working remote. So these are some spaces. That's it. LinkedIn is your go-to place actually.
Okay, is there any specific website where we can search this specific role only, the companies that hire for the specific roles?
I mean, you can just go and type game developer on LinkedIn, you'll find something. Or Hitmarker is one place, but Hitmarker is more from a global scale. So the benefit of LinkedIn here is that you can actually like geolocate places, right? You can focus on one particular space. Hitmarker, it's a little tricky to do that because they don't really keep it very India specific. It's very global.
Okay.
So I feel LinkedIn is easier, and places like, for example, King or Ubisoft, it's better to keep a watch on their career pages once in a while.
Got it. So अभी ना आप मेरे को ये बताओ that what do you do in your daily job responsibility, and आप दिन भर गेम खेलते हो तो मज़ा आता होगा फिर आपको. I mean, आप खेलते हो, first of all tell us that.
Yes, I play a lot of games actually. तो it's like a thing. मतलब काम खत्म किया वापस आके गेम तो खेलना है. And yeah, that's, but then the games that I make are a lot more different from the games that I play. Now, this is something people really need to understand if you're trying to get into this industry कि what you're playing, you're not making that. अगर मैं GTA खेल रही हूँ, मैं GTA currently बना नहीं रही हूँ. I'm making a very simple mobile game. So that's different. Eventually, maybe someday I'll make it, but right now I'm making a mobile game. So what I do is I'm a slot designer. Slot machines. If you have seen fancy casino movies, you would have seen ki there are slot machines that people are spinning. They're
Yeah.
putting in money and just spinning. So that's what I do. But for the mobile audience, I work on this game called Willy Wonka Slots. तो यहाँ पे होता क्या है is my whole day routine starts with a morning functional scrum. So it's a morning meetup where the entire design team talks to each other about what are we doing, what's happening, like just a simple call to get to know that what are our tasks for the day. And then we have a team wide scrum, which is all the, like I told about, developers, producers, so all of these people come together and discuss about what are the line items for everyone. So that's something we do, and right after that we get into working. So how this whole working goes with, I start off with ideating on something. Say a product manager comes up to me and says ki this is the problem. Matlab our something's down, some of our KPIs are down. How do we fix it? So now I sit with them and I start an ideate ki okay, these are some possible fixes that we can do for this. Then we start designing a whole thing, like what are the visuals for it, what would be the edge cases for it. So we come up with a whole documentation on how do we build this, like how is this going to be built, and is it going to give us the impact that we are expecting, is it going to fix the problem that we just found. And that's how the whole process of like the process of game design, initial process of it begins, like for me. So once I've done that, this whole phase is called pre-production, and I would do all of this, and then I would sit down with the rest of the teams and I'd tell them that okay, this is the idea we have come up with, this is what it is going to solve, are you all in?
Yeah.
And once they all are in, they would start working on it. So developers will start coding for it, artists will start making art for it, and our animators will work on animations. So sab log they're doing their job here. During this time, I would keep checking if this thing is working fine, if this is looking good, if this functionality is running fine, do we have some troubles, how can we fix it. So meanwhile, I would also be working on some other problem. While I'm looking at this, I'm working on another problem, finding a solution for that. And after once this whole thing goes into QA and it's out there, like once it's out and the public can access it, we would see the metrics. Is it fixing the problem or not? If it's not fixing the problem, then we think about how do we fine tune this a little from backend to make sure it works like we expected it to. So this is the whole thing. This is how my day job looks like. And yeah, for
Actually, very interesting.
to come to that idea, the best part is I play a lot. So I would sit and play competitor games. Whenever I'm bored, I would just like spin a little on some other company's game that, okay, what are you doing that we don't have? So understanding other games is what I do apart from this.
Fun work. Fun
Yeah.
and interesting. So yeah, coming to the end of the podcast, any advice for people who are actually preparing to come into this field?
Yes, one thing is playing games is really, really, really important for you. If you're trying to get into this industry, understanding games more than playing, you don't mindlessly play. You understand. You question the game. Why is this like this? Why can't it be like this? So having that question, like habit of questioning, gets you there. And be very vocal. Communicate a lot. Like don't hesitate from asking questions and communicating. Have a very collaborative habit, like in the sense you shouldn't be someone who likes a lot of solitude. I mean, it's no harm in liking solitude, But then you need to be okay with collaborating with people. You need to be open to talking to people about your ideas and being being very friendly around them, because this industry is very small and everyone's very close knit in some or the other way. And another thing would be being open to criticism. That's really, really important, because there have been days where people have, when I was in college, our teachers used to be very strict. They would just say, Ki, this is nonsense. I don't want this. So you need to be
Yeah.
open to accept that, okay, your idea could be nonsense. But that doesn't mean you stop working on it. That means you ask them, why is it nonsense? And
Right.
take their opinion, and then if you feel the opinion's not right, then communicate with them and
Hmm.
figure out a solution with them. So if someone says something's bad, it would be better if you sit with them and try to figure it out, rather than just going in a corner and thinking about it. So
Yeah.
that is also very important.
That's a great advice. And I really, really enjoyed the whole podcast. The way you are explaining,
Thank
it's
you.
just so good to listen to you. And it's very easy to understand, though it's a very new field for all of us, I'm sure for my audience as well, because there are a lot of people who come from a BCA or a BTech background or a BSc CS background, and they want to know about different industries that exist and where they can explore opportunities. And the way you explained about this field, it's really amazing. एक एक पॉइंटर आपने
Thank
बहुत अच्छे
you.
से कवर किया, so I'm very thankful. So thank you so much, Deepanjali, for coming on my channel, giving your time. So guys, if you want to get connected with Deepanjali, I'll share the link of her LinkedIn in the description. So don't forget to follow her and disturb her if you have any questions, because she's saying that ask as many questions as possible.
Yes.
So definitely ask questions to her. Yeah, thank you again, Deepanjali, for coming.
Thank you.
Okay guys, अगर podcast अच्छी लगी है, so don't forget to hit that like button, share it to your friends and family and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you get notified जब भी मैं कोई नई वीडियो डालूँ तो. Thank you so much.